Tellico Village Broadcasting, your source of programming highlighting active lifestyles in our beautiful surroundings.
Again, let me welcome you to your new Lenore City Fire Station 1. As I was preparing some notes of what I wanted to say here today, I kept coming back to three key words: progress, future, and history. While on the outside, block and mortar are easily seen by the human eye, I'm going to ask you to look beyond and reflect on what this building really represents. More importantly, to think of the people who have contributed to our great city, and contributions that began long ago, and contributions that will be needed for generations to come in order for our city to continue to succeed. From a young age, we were taught, if you want life to change, you must change. If you want life to get better, you must get better. Luck will come and go, but true change comes from consistently improving yourself, giving others selflessly to the cause, and inspiring others around you to do the same. That begins by asking yourself each day, what am I doing? Why am I doing it? How can I do it better? The men and women who have dedicated themselves to this city must have been aware of that lesson, because the work began long ago, much longer than you and I can recall. That progress, some of which is represented before you now, came from the dedication of many both yesterday and today who have forged their way the city we now know. The realization that was a need for a new fire hall came quite easily to those involved. The plan on where, when, and how did not come easy. It took many months of meetings, research, and development, and tedious decisions. It took months of dedication to the cause from the men and women who are entrusted by our citizens to keep our city growing while representing the best interests of each person we serve. Abraham Lincoln once said, "I am a slow walker, but I never walk back." It is the same philosophy that is represented in our new fire hall. Through the dedication and focus and efforts of our current City Council, City Administrator, Lenore City Utilities Board Manager, the Public Safety Director, and the City staff, we see progress being made here today. This new facility now provides us with a much needed space to serve our citizens more efficiently, with easier access and increased services, and eliminating costs of both general expense and maintenance upkeep that are associated with an operating of an aging building. And moving our operations into this building, designed to be more economically efficient, should serve as a great example of the decisions and progress being made by your City Council and city leaders. We are excited in many ways that the new fire hall will serve our future. And lastly, perhaps one of the oddest words used to describe progress, but one of the most important to Lenore City today. While we look forward, we must also reflect on the tradition and the values that were laid out by those who came before us. From our rich Southern history to our deep-rooted faith in God, we have an obligation as leaders to take those very principles, combined with those experiences, and apply them to our city's future. It is my hope by doing that, we create a progressive community that offers our future generations a place to raise even more future generations in a city that maintains deep-rooted values and faith. While many of us here have served in one form or another for many years, there lies a greater story of the men and women who have left their imprint on Lenore City throughout history. And while there are many, I want to tell you a story of two men that came to mind every time I think of the service and dedication to this city. It is the story of Mayor Joe Grayson and Fire Chief David Denton, both lifelong residents of Lenore City, who their names will be engraved on this building in their honor. Mayor Joe Grayson served as mayor of Lenore City from 1970 through 1976. During this time, he served as chairman of the Lenore City Board of Education, Lenore City Utilities Board. He also served as commissioner of the Lenore City Fire Department and the Lenore City Police Department. Prior to becoming mayor, he was elected to serve on city council. Mayor Grayson's wife, Pat, his sons, and their family is here with us. Please help me welcome them and thank Mayor Grayson for his service. Fire Chief David Denton began his career as fire chief for the Lenore City Police Department in 1975. And let me say, I worked with David. He is an outstanding individual. And he always had the city in his heart and tried to push the city forward. He became Lenore City's first fire chief in 1985, and he was very instrumental in doing that. He served in that capacity for 10 years. He remained working as the city's building inspector and codes enforcement officer until he retired in 2005. He served Lenore City and its citizens for more than 43 years. Chief Denton and his wife Linda, and I don't know if your son made it or not, Chief, but hopefully he'll get a video of all this. But Chief Denton and his wife Linda is here. Please help make them welcome and thank you for his years of service. Progress, future, and history. May God guide us, the leaders of this city, to continue to strive for progress. Help us focus on the future of Lenore City and its citizens. May He always remind us of the great history of this city and its people, for one day this too will be spoken of when Lenore City's story is told. It is my pleasure to serve as mayor and to officially announce that the Lenore City Fire Department is open for business. May God bless each and every one of you. And before we adjourn, and I know some of you have already been through the building, but before we tour the building, I would ask that the Denton family and the Grayson family go in first and let them go through the food line first as well. But one other person too I missed that played an important part in helping us to get this building was Shannon Littleton, the general manager of Lenore City Utilities. And he's here with us. Thank you, Shannon. And I know that you went through some sleepless nights. So if it helps, so did I. But we'll dismiss now and tour the building. And again, let the Grayson family and the Denton family, if you would, go first. And thank you all for coming.